Lovely greetings and welcome to KUDOS International Latte Show. I am your host, Dr. Supriya, and once again, I welcome you, all the global audience, to this beautiful, amazing, vivacious, and so inspiring show that says KUDOS Latte Show. And here is my coffee waiting for you all to connect with a lovely, very elite personality, and to whom I say world's best storyteller. And when I say world's best storyteller, you have to watch this video. Who is today our incredible guest? Here is my wonderful, very incredible, very elite Tony Cranston from UK. Welcome, Tony, to our show. It's been a great privilege and honor for me to host you again on the platform of KUDOS International Latte Show.
Namaste. Thank you for having me, Supriya. I'm very honored to be on such a good show. It's a unique show. I like what you're doing. I like all what you're doing. It's an honor. Thank you for letting me be one of your guests.
Well, Tony, as I said earlier, this is going to be super amazing, super awesome show because this is not only for the show I'm telling, but hosting such a great personality like Tony. I tell you, global audience, he's the world's best class storyteller. And before I take a lovely deep dive and not to waste a single moment, let's take this journey on with Tony Cranston. And Tony, let's enlighten the world today with your very great, inspiring life journey.
Ha 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 ha. Inspiring. Oh, it's only because it's very long so far. It's very long. I keep saying I'm 69, but I'm not. I'm actually 68. I'm 60. I'll be 69 this year, but every day counts, so I'm 68 still. And I'm a teacher, 47 years teaching mind, body, health systems. That's 47 years of teaching yoga, Tai Chi, Alexander technique. And among all of those things, those teachers, they all have their speciality, but I think my speciality is relaxation, or at least that's what everybody tells me, which is a nice thing to teach people. I know I could teach people to stand on their head, but what much use is that? So relaxation is the thing I like to teach. But at times I've taught English language, Chinese culture and art, Russian culture and art, and all kinds of things. Currently, I'm a storyteller. And I've been a storyteller all my life, but I know I've been a professional storyteller since about 1990. And I've been traveling the world, collecting, writing, telling stories. And that, well, it's taken me to live and work in 72 towns and cities outside of the UK, and I'm still counting. Soon, next year, I will be in South Korea for a couple of weeks, Japan for a week, and Hong Kong for a week telling stories. So it gets me around a bit. My book, A Storyteller in China, is just finished. And it's being edited now, though I like to edit it myself, but we'll see what a professional does. But during that time, people have asked me to write books, and I've authored 9 children's story and activity books. Now, people always ask me, why do you write children's books? 2 answers. 1, because children's books last forever. Other books, you can write a 600-page novel and make it printed once and make it reprinted twice, but then it will end up in a library or a charity shop and it'll be worth about 20p and people will forget about it, but a children's book will last forever. But the other reason why I write children's stories is maybe I'm not clever enough to write a novel. I don't know. Anyway, one day I will get a proper job. But I've written 800 articles, usually features for UK press and international magazines and stories, writer skills, public relations, which was my old job, and education. My dad will say, "Have you got a proper job yet?" Which I don't know if I have. But during all of that time, I was a public relations consultant. That is writing and twisting the blurb for corporations and companies to believe in what the corporation is telling them.
Right.
Political outcomes and how to influence the public and all of those things, which is basically lying, which is also another part of storytelling. And I did not like it that much. It paid well, but I did not like it that much. I still write articles about it and how people can influence you. But I retired and went back to my old job of telling stories, traditional folk tales and things, and my own stories. But I'm retired, so they say. But since I retired, I continue writing. I have a new book coming out, a second one, and nearly done. But since then, I got a job. Well, there's a job. My dad might like it. I don't know yet. As a radio presenter for Talking Stories on East London Radio. We've done 88 programs, about 200 storytellers worldwide, over 600 stories, about 70 poets, 200 poems, and nearly 60 special guests who are all writers, authors, storytellers, poets, and how they journeyed into the world, well, the spoken word word. And I think as we now reaching 43,000 plus listeners and downloaders across the world every month, it seems to have hit a chord with people. As we rush into this 21st science fiction century of ours, we still like something as old-fashioned as storytelling. And there's a reason for that. It's because the brain is hardwired for listening to stories. And this is what we do. If you were to ask a child, what did you do at school today? They would tell you the story of what they did at school today. And so that's how we speak. We communicate in stories all the time. And no wonder people still like to hear a good old-fashioned story. And since I'm good old-fashioned, perfect for me. Seems popular, just as I hoped.
This is really great, Tony. And yes, when you said about your life journey, yes, you're a very experienced person. And as far as I know, since last year, I was seeing your great work when you were connecting with small children, their storytelling, and it was fabulous and mind blowing to see such a great personality. Now, this question will be incomplete if I won't ask Tony. You're such an elite world best class storyteller. I mean, I feel so nervous in talking game in front of you. But still, I want to ask one question in front of my global audience today in the live show of Kiddos International. Tony, what sort of challenges? Because I am sure you had faced pretty challenges in your life. So, in your life, what kind of challenges, Tony, you had faced? And also your, of course, great achievements. We would love to listen to that.
I guess it is because I'm from a working class northeast of England coal mining community. My father was a coal miner. My mom was a normal housewife. My grandfather was a coal miner. His grandfather was a coal miner. And my only option at school days, well, a career option would be to either work down the coal mines, work in the steelworks, or work on the docks building ships. But none of these were any good for me. I just couldn't see myself doing any of them. Fortunately, my father told me that you would be the laziest person in the world, but you're not going to work down the coal mines. And I never did work down the coal mines. But he used to tell me stories of when he was in the Royal Navy during World War II and all the places he traveled in the world. And that's what I wanted to do. And listening to those stories that my mom told, and some of the stories she told were like my grandfather, who took part in the general strike in Britain, and I think it was 1926, when they marched from the northeast of England and marched on London for jobs and things. And when he got there, he was offered a job to work on a newspaper as a cartoonist, to draw cartoons on a big newspaper. But my grandfather was thinking, I'm just an ordinary working class boy. I don't know anything. I'm just a coal miner. I don't know. Maybe I can't do this. So he missed the opportunity. He turned it down. And another story was my mom, who during the World War II, she was living in London and she was offered the part to run a dance academy because she was a good dancer. It was run by the most famous dance teacher in London at the time, who went off to Hollywood to teach Hollywood stars. And she asked my mom to run the school because she was the best. And again, my mom said, oh, I'm just a working class girl. Maybe I can't do this. And so she lost that opportunity. But I remember those stories. And when those opportunities came to me to do things, I immediately remembered those stories and said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try it and do it. And you know what? Every time I succeeded, I felt better and more confident. One thing I learned was not to discuss these things with friends. If someone, one of the first things I ever did was to write a book. This one, actually. Ta-da! To write a book. And I know if I told my friends about it, they would have said, oh, how can you write a book? You're just a working class guy. You don't know anything. Your dad was a coal miner, and so on and so on, because they still had that mindset. I know if I told them, they might have talked me out of it. So I didn't tell them. That's a good trick. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell anyone. Just get on with it. Do it. And then when you're finished, you can show everybody your book and say, hey, this is me. That's my name. I wrote this. Isn't it good? And and when I did that, it was all over the newspapers and my friends were amazed by it. I said, how can you do that? And I thought, well, why not? If you have the idea, then of course you were given the idea. You would not have the idea in the first place if you weren't capable of doing it. So you're capable inside, you have all this education, you have all of these experiences, and out of that comes a thought in your head. And if you have that thought, you must have the things to back it up. Otherwise, you would not have the thought in the first place. It's like if you have a dream. All things begin with a dream. If you have the dream, you were given the dream. And if you were given the dream, you were given the dream because you were able to make that dream come true. So if you have the idea, get on with it. Do it straight away. Don't waste time. Don't tell anybody. Just get on with it and do it. Do a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and you're there. You can all do it. All things begin with a little seed. And those are my challenges still to this day. I write more books and more books and more books. And one day I was storytelling in a forest, and I mentioned to the guide of the forest, who was taking a bunch of children and myself around, and I was telling the stories of the trees. And I said to him, I once wrote a book with some children. Maybe we could do the same again. And 1 year to the day, I had a phone call from him, just as I was getting into my car, said, would you like to write another book? So I wrote another book, and it gave me a list of 16 stories to do. 16 stories to do.
Amazing.
So they were illustrated, and I had a one page. The idea was to write one page of a story, but I was not very good at writing one pages. They often came out a bit longer. But then I had the idea of, well, we need a picture of the tree they were talking about, and then all the science about that tree. And then why not put some activities you could do with the tree? And so there's 100 activities, 16 stories, and a CD later to come with it. And my friend said, wow, how can you do that? Wow, that's amazing. That's wonderful. Great. It's because I didn't tell them. And since then, 6, 7 other books, similar styles. But I'm writing my own books now. I've got The Storyteller in China, and I've got another one, The Secrets of Meditation Revealed, which is, when I'm teaching yoga and I'm teaching meditation and relaxation, I would tell people how they relax and why and all the secrets. And they said they didn't know any of that. And I thought, well, why not? It's not a secret. And they said it is. I thought, okay, so I'm going to reveal all of those secrets in the book and why it's so easy to relax, why it's so easy. And all those people who say it isn't, they're just trying to sell you something.
Tony, this is really, really wonderful to know. And I will say only one thing: actions speak louder than your words. That's what I can see from your life journey, because you didn't tell anything to your friend. You just moved out of your comfort zone and just did it. And you did. I love this thing. Don't tell to your friends. Don't tell anyone. Just do, and you will do that. So hats off to you for your great, inspiring challenges, which I will say pretty hidden golden opportunities. That's what you are giving, a positive vibe to the global audience. And here I would love to say to my global audience, kindly connect with Tony. He's there on Facebook. You can find him on social media, and do connect him for storytelling, for his lovely, great, inspiring books. Get an order of that and make your life meaningful and successful. So great applaud for Tony for his brilliant work and mind-blowing, selfless work for the society and humanity, and especially for the lovely children. And I would also love to take a copy of these great books and make my life meaningful.
I will do. Yeah. I believe in the things I learned when I was a child. There were little seeds planted in me as a child, and it took years before they grew. Years, 20 years or more for them to grow. But if I can plant those seeds now in children, then they will grow too one day. And I will tell them they will grow, and I will show them how, and I will encourage them to grow, and I will encourage their parents by telling them my story and how they make it grow. All of those things. And if I can take a small child now and imagine a child, somewhat from India. There was a little girl, Shania Singh, and she was only 6 years old, and she was on the radio program. Yeah. And she's won every award under the sun. And Saidi Singh and Manat Panaku, they're all really good, and they have so much insight into what stories are. But if a child can tell a story, that child will not be afraid to put their hand up at school and ask a question. And when they ask a question, they will get an answer and they will know more. And that's what it's all about. And it's not just being able to do something, having a degree and being able to do something. It's also being able to tell other people that you can do it. Otherwise, they will never know. They will never know. All your actors, all your singers, all your performers, all your dancers, all the writers, nobody knew about them until those actors, writers, storytellers told them about themselves. Otherwise, they will never know. Nobody knew about J.K. Rowling until she wrote to all the publishers to sell her book. If she didn't do that, nobody would ever know. Nobody would ever know. Yeah. One of the most famous singers I ever liked from the 1960s to today, Bob Dylan in America. No one would ever know about Bob Dylan if Bob Dylan didn't tell everybody about himself. He had to. And then they started listening. He told him, said, "Hey, I'm a good folk singer." And if he didn't say that, nobody would have known. And Bob Dylan is another one who says, if you have an idea, keep it to yourself and just do something about it bit by bit by bit. Don't tell anybody else because they haven't got that idea, so they will think it's impossible. Don't listen to them. Just tell it and go on yourself. He did exactly the same as me years earlier. I'm sure others have been doing the same years earlier.
Wow. I must say these challenges had really shaped you and sculptured into a very strong and very successful personality, Tony. So I won't say it's a challenge; it's a pretty golden hidden opportunities which you are giving to the world a message to move forward, and without telling to anyone that you can do this thing or that thing, just proved your capabilities in front of the world. So great laurels to you and great accolades to you for your great work and of course your lovely books. I'm so excited to go through it and make my life meaningful and wonderful too. Well, moving to this beautiful show with Tony Cranston, the world's best storyteller, I would love to ask Tony, what's your opinion about our platform Kiddos International? And it would be lovely to hear from your heart.
Wow, Kudos International, Kudos Miracles. That's exactly what you do. You and Alan and your whole team. You're rising to the challenges yourself across the world and you're doing it. Also, you're telling other people about it. So that's good. Otherwise, we would not know about it. This program is all about that and all the conferences and things you're doing in America and so on. If you don't tell people, nobody would know. And I think you're doing things in housing and education and creating and making changes via people for people. You know what? You're really a bright spark, igniting flames across people in hearts and in minds, and you're just beginning right across the world, and you're just beginning. But how long have you been doing all of this?
We just started a year back. Can you believe this? And within a year, we had touched the sky.
Yes, you are. You are. So what do you want to achieve in the end? What's the whole big goal of it all?
The goal is only to inspire people to change the world, and only one thing, to spread, to foster peace, harmony, which today humanity is lacking. We all talk about humanity, but how many of us really do something for the humanity? So just a better change for the better world. That's it. That's the motto.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's what we all do. That's what our teachers from Jesus and Buddha and Krishna and all the others have been saying for years. All the holy books have all been saying exactly the same. Change yourself, change the person next door to you, change this, just plant a seed and it will grow. You don't have to achieve massive things, huge things. You just need smaller things. But as you said, have seen, you truly know, and I know, and I think all our audience know deep inside, you feel inside, if you have the dreams, you're going to make them happen. And kudos, you yourselves have got those dreams and you're making them happen. You yourself too. So kudos to you.
Thank you, Tony. Kudos to everyone, to our team, and especially our founder, CEO, Matt Allen, who is working day and night very hard to make everyone's dream possible. So a great thanks to you too, Tony, for inspiring us, for cheering us, for motivating us. And before I move forward to this lovely journey with Tony Cranston, I would love to say not goodbye, but to get a very powerful message from you, Tony, so that people get more rejuvenation, more energy to do their work. So, a powerful message from Tony Cranston. Yeah.
If you have the dream, you were given the dream, so you can make the dream come true. If you have the idea, you must have had the dreams within you, you must have had the education with you and the experiences within you, so you've got the capabilities of making your dream, your idea come true. But I want to mention something. In the end, When you face God, He will ask you two questions. One, were you happy with the story of your life? Two, were others happy with your part in their story?
Wow, you touched the lines, your very heart touching lines. And I really say, yes, this should be when everybody knows these two answers, I think they can do miracles and they can change the world.
Hmm.
Awesome one.
Hmm. And you will always
Right?
have that energy to make sure your life is full with those things.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Wow, Tony's these two questions, but really impactful questions. And I'm so grateful to you for coming to our show. And really, you last question, last answer, it really changed, transformed everyone, even me too. So, ladies and gentlemen, on your behalf and for on Kiddos International Team part, I just respect you, Tony, for coming to our show, and very grateful for enlightening this beautiful, wonderful show with your inspiring life journey. So, once again, a great thanks to you.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an honor to be on your show.
Yeah,
Keep it
and I
going.
think people are so transformed with your life journey, and especially your last two questions, which were so mind blowing. So, thank you so much for inspiring millions, and thank you so much, our ladies, our gentlemen, and our global audience for always loving us, motivating us. Keep doing that. Stay happy, Elenati. Bye bye